to wait for your extraordinary it's counterintuitive and it's counterproductive. Hello, hustlers, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, everybody out there trying to turn an idea into income. I want to welcome you to Serious Business, because it's serious, but it's not all that serious. Welcome to your weekly spot to get everything you need to know about making your business more profitable, but also having a lot more fun while doing it, because if this ain't fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Serious Business. So you are here with myself, Suzanne Evans, founder of Driven Inc., New York Times bestseller of The Way You Do Anything is the Way You Do Everything, and my CEO, Melonie Orr. What's your book, Melonie?
What's my book?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, my book is The Way You Do Anything is the Way You Do Everything.
Oh. I was like, are you asking me what my book of the day is? So it's like, I don't think I understand. Yeah, I don't have a book yet.
So that was a great example of how she never listens to me. She was totally not listening to my intro.
I heard a ding and I was trying to mute it so it didn't bother us, to be honest with you. And then I'm paranoid about my phone too. But
so this is an interesting topic today. It's kind of a funny topic, but I'm thinking that this is the topic that most everybody out there is going to be able to relate to the most. And well, I'm going to speak for myself and then you can speak for yourself, but a little confession. So confession on today's podcast, and this will definitely be the title of today's podcast. So I'm not really good at anything. I want to be really clear. When I say that, I am not saying that from a self-deprecation place. I am not saying it from a standpoint of woe is me. I am not saying it from having a lack of confidence, because what is it Amanda always says about me? That my confidence
exceeds your skill level.
And that happens a lot with things like snow skiing, hiking, anything where I'm like, oh no, you guys, I got this. I totally got this. And then, I end up like on a medical stretcher or something. So I'm not saying it from a place of not having confidence or being clear or believing in myself. The truth of the matter is I am not really exceptional at anything. And I find that it's kind of an epidemic in that people aren't. And here's what's interesting. So when I say that I'm not really good at anything, it, ties back to when you look at my life. I have been a professional water skier. I was a professional actress. I worked in the Broadway theater industry. I've built a multiple $1-million business. I can cook collards. No one can outcook me in cooking. It's true. Cooking collards. But the truth of the matter is I haven't been exceptional at any of those things. I've worked really hard at them. And what's really annoying is I've had to work 3 or 5 times or 10 times in some cases harder than a lot of people around me in a lot of those categories. And so I just wanted to bring up the conversation today. I wonder if, anybody's out there or my people out there that you're just not really great at anything, but you're still quite successful because you just said, well, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it right. So the conversation I wanted to have is, so what do you do if you're not really great at anything?
Well, you choose one thing and go with it.
I didn't even do that. I mean, I was younger when I did a lot of the other things, but I was a teacher. I worked in the Broadway theater industry. I've built this business. I just got out of a meeting with Melonie, with Amanda, haven't even talked to you about, where I'm like, oh, this is an interesting business. Let's buy that. A business that's for sale. So I think that everybody's waiting on their moment of extraordinary.
Yeah. And I think by getting to the extraordinary, because I don't necessarily think it's that, oh, I'm not good at anything. It's just that you do it anyway. And you choose that one thing, that you're really excited about. I hate using the word passionate about, but you're like, you know what? I'm really curious and interested in this, and I'm willing to work on it. I am willing to keep getting back up on the horse, even though I'm not sure that I can stay on it. And I'm going to ride this horse and figure it out. And
take my horse down to Old Town Road.
Of course you have to go there. But, I do think that is the big deciding factor in life is, number one, we all feel like imposters. Everybody is dealing with some form of the imposter syndrome where they're like, oh my God, somebody's going to figure out that I have no idea what I'm doing. Most successful people kind of don't have any clue what they're doing. They just got up every day and did it anyway. I go back to that Jiro Dreams of Sushi movie. If you haven't seen it, please go see it.
It's amazing.
It really is amazing.
It's a documentary. If you haven't seen it.
It's a documentary. It's been out for years, but it resonates with me in the sense that he is a master at what he does because he gets up every single day and does the same thing with absolute mind-numbing, methodic precision. And it has made him a master. And it took years and years to do that. And it was about just, doing it. I think if you asked him if he was really good at it, he would say, no, I'm not particularly good at anything. But what he is particularly good at is getting up and doing it again. And that's where people, in my opinion, fail, right? They kind of fail themselves or their business or whatever, life, because they just don't get up and keep going. And keeping going doesn't mean that everything looks the same. Everything is an evolution, but you don't see evolution overnight. It's years and years and years of things slowly shifting and moving and finally getting to, that sweet spot.
Yeah, but I think the bigger challenge is that everybody's waiting to take their bold action, right? Or their big moment, or to risk it all, or to put all their chips in, or to invest their time and their money when they find that thing. And I'm just telling you, I will never have that thing. I'm not going to be a supermodel. I was mildly athletic, so I played basketball and I played softball. And I was a pretty good water skier. I was like 11th in the nation for my category, but I worked my ass off training. I missed what most other kids were doing and playing while people, TD Jakes, he says, people say to him all the time, why are you the amazing, I think he is the greatest preacher ever. I mean, he is so good. And that people are always asking him, why are you so good? He said, because when people were playing ball, I was preaching. When people were partying, I was preaching. When people were goofing off, I was preaching. And I was giving some really bad sermons because I had to figure this out. I had to train for it. I had to learn it. I had to become it. And so my point here is that you're looking at someone who, or listening, I guess, to someone who has had a pretty cool life. I'm pleased. I know not everybody aspires to have my life, but it's been an interesting one. I've had a New York Times bestselling book, and I've built a business, and I've worked in a really interesting industry, and I've done some really cool things, and I did it not really being great at anything. And without sounding like a t-shirt, I think it's appropriate to quote a t-shirt here, which is, nobody cares, work harder. And I don't want the answer to always be hustle and work harder and kill yourself. That's not the point either, because if you're killing yourself at something you don't love, you're just going to kill yourself. But my point is that to wait for your extraordinary it's counterintuitive, and it's counterproductive. And it's counterproductive because you'll be good at some things, you'll be lousy at some things, and you might be great at a few things. And there are very few Michael Phelps, and there are very few Steve Jobs, and there are very few Maria Callas's, and there are very few Bruno Marses. And there will be somebody listening to this that may be one of those, but the rest of us will not be at the Metropolitan Opera. We will be at the Piccadilly Community Opera House. But if we work hard and we work our ass off and we go, nobody cares, work harder, and you push and you plan and you strive and you focus and you are committed and you are consistent, you can get a lot of traction and do something that you love. And so I watch a lot of advertising and marketing messages and different things out in the world saying, find your thing. I don't think I got a thing. That's the point. I don't think I got a thing. So I think I better pick a thing and work at it.
Well, it's funny because you were just saying this list of people and it made me think, I think we live in a really weird time right now where, I don't know, it's all got to level itself out, but we're in this instant celebrity sort of culture. And, I think about, we had this funny exchange. I had a funny exchange with a friend of mine's boyfriend at a bar one night in New York City. And I was like, what are you?
Oh, I know where you're going. I thought, what the hell are you talking about? No, this is good. I was
like, what are you wanting to do? Like, he was working in this job and he was like, I haven't decided if I just want to be famous or I want to be something else.
Don't you love that? Like your 7-year-old kid looks at you. What do you want to be when you grow up? Famous. And truth of the matter is, kids say that now.
Yeah, because there are kids that are YouTube stars and trying to be YouTube stars. And we were talking to somebody else who had a kid who did that. Anyway, when he said that, I was just like, what on earth are you saying? I want to be like, you don't just decide. Okay, listen, we can get all into this, decide to be famous, but that's not a career, being famous. And I think we're living in this culture right now where if you're not getting a bajillion Instagram likes and you're not getting 1 million shares on Facebook, somehow your business and what you're doing is inadequate. And
or you aren't adequate.
Yeah. Even more importantly, people have translated their business into their own personal, like it's about them. And so I think it's really important and healthy to emotionally remove yourself from your business sometimes, because it can get really weird and put you in a funky place. But yeah, like I said, it's not a decision of becoming famous. Some of these people became famous not because they decided to be famous, but because they were so obsessed with the thing that they were doing and they got really good at it and became masterful at it, and that gained them attention. And we do live in this very strange culture right now around celebrity and what that means, and the attention economy, which we teach a lot about. And we work with clients to help them get more attention, because that's all anyone wants is all the attention. And that is important, but it's also important to measure that with a little bit of humility and also a big pound of self-worth and understanding that your value is beyond your Instagram viewers.
Yes, Anne, you just may not be amazing at anything, right? We when people say, God put you here for a reason. God put you here for a reason because we're supposed to be a kind person and be a wonderful person and be a great mom and be a wonderful spouse. And maybe you were put here just to enjoy the ride and enjoy it. But the thing is that stop looking for your exceptional and start looking for your right now. Right?
Yeah.
It is not the destination. Sometimes it's the transportation, and the transportation uncovers something in the destination. And I just want to release you and free you and inspire you to go, maybe it's okay if I'm not amazing at anything. This idea came from, it's something I've always thought about, but David Chang, who is the founder, he's a chef and the founder of the Momofuku group, which I think it was Bon Appetit said is the most important, restaurateur of our times, right? Like what he has done to be creative and innovative and change the landscape of food is incredible. And I watched him on an interview a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, I really just need everybody to know I'm not good at anything. He was like, I'm not great at cooking. And they were like, are you kidding me? You're supposed to be. He said, no, I'm telling you. He goes, I just enjoyed it. And I thought, if I'm going to enjoy this and want to make a living at it, I better figure it all out and work really hard. And when I would see other chefs going to bed, I'd be like, put 2 more hours in.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never been a great chef. And anybody who really knows me knows that, but they know I will put the extra time in. I will put the extra work in, and man, he'll risk. If you've ever been to one of his restaurants, man, will he risk.
I think about that frozen foie gras that
That
was
frozen
shaved
foie gras. You know, New York
insane.
City just
banned
foie gras.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's a problem, that food. I
It
try not to
is.
think about it. I'm not going to call myself a politically
it's
correct
a
eater.
problem, but if that shaved foie gras was offered to me right now, I'd take it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
It's
good.
really that shaved foie gras, and also his dish at Mamafuko Bar, the
which-
pork bun. I mean, there's so many
the
things, but those
pork buns, yeah.
no one does pork buns like him.
No, that's
Oh,
true.
we're going to DC for Thanksgiving. We should.
have
This
no
is our
time.
problem in life. Do you see what just happened? You know how people have squirrel moments? Everything in
Yeah.
our life is a food moment. If you put a picture of food in front of us, we could drive off a road. We could.
Speaking of, don't put a picture of a duck. Remember, we went to Yale.
Oh, come on! Don't tell
Remember,
this
there
story.
were the foie gras protesters.
Yeah,
They
it's
did-
hard. It is a challenging category.
We can't solve that on this podcast.
We cannot solve that on this
so-
podcast. But what we can solve is stop waiting for your extraordinary.
Yeah.
You're good enough at something. You like something enough. Go do it. Go work your ass off at it. Go figure it out. Go ask people in that space and in that industry if they'll help you. If they've got ideas, follow them, model them, strive to just have amazing amounts of fun doing it and to become as masterful as you could possibly be, because I am planning on starting the I'm not good at anything club, because you know what? It would be the most fun group of people you've ever met. Probably a lot less ego and a lot less drama, because listen, if you can just do something because you enjoy doing it and you're willing to figure it out, probably always going to be a lot better off than if you were a prodigy at it to start with. So go out there, figure out what you want to do, and don't wait for your amazing to show up. We're going to see you on the next Serious Business, and Melonie and I are going to go find a pork bun.
I hope. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast, Serious Business. Please follow us on Instagram at The Driven Inc. and make sure to check us out on Facebook at Driven Inc. as well. Subscribe to this podcast. You don't want to miss a single episode, and tell a friend, because good friends share good stuff. See you next week.